Mortal Kombat Legends, Snowblind, Old Man Sub-Zero. The Mortal Kombat series needs no introduction, and this iconic fighting franchise gets a fresh addition in the form of the animated movie Mortal Kombat Legends, Snowblind. Partnering with Warner Bros. Animation was always an exciting prospect for the fans of Mortal Kombat, and this movie was marketed as a sequel to Scorpion's Revenge and Battle of the Realms. In this video, we will look to conduct an elaborate autopsy of the movie and bring you everything there is to know, so be warned that there will be a few spoilers along the way. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. Exploring the plot of Mortal Kombat Legends, Snowblind. Spoilers ahead. Origins of the elderly Sub-Zero analyzed. The story wastes absolutely no time in getting straight to the point, and the very first scene makes it pretty clear that the Earth has been reduced to a desert wasteland with little pockets of civilization scattered around. We get a glimpse of one such peaceful desert city with enough signs to indicate that danger is lurking right around the corner. A horde of vehicles rush to the city gates in typical Mad Max style, and a group breaks through the city and conducts a quick massacre of the people. The scene doesn't hold back on the violence, and we see graphic details of people being shot through their heads, crushed under the wheels of the cars, impaled, and decapitated. The survivors are rounded up, and it is almost symbolic how the raiders destroy the statue of Liu Kang, protector of the Earth Realm. It is revealed that the swift attack and takeover were conducted by the group called Black Dragon, led by none other than a recurring villain in the Mortal Kombat universe, Kano. Shang Tsung works under his supreme powers, and he tries to convince the survivors to bend their knee and accept the rule of Kano without further bloodshed. We then see the first glimpse of the new ruler of the Wasteland, King Kano. He takes us through the recent past where human civilization was threatened by the attack of the Revenants, a type of undead creature. Kano promises them a new purpose in life and offers them the chance to take back the wasteland under his leadership. However, it all demands the allegiance and loyalty of the survivors, and they are quick to bend their knee to save their lives. The next scene takes us to Kuai Lang, the former Sub-Zero, who is now living a quiet, secluded life. He wakes up from a recurring nightmare and tends to his little farm before leaving on a cart to sell his produce. En route, he is caught by some of the thugs of Kano, which include familiar faces from the franchise like Kabal, Cobra, and Kira. They rob him of his fresh vegetables, and even though you constantly expect him to teach them a lesson, he takes a beating like a mute spectator. It seems like this is only a pale shadow of the Sub-Zero that we all know. The trio even follows him secretly and finds a hidden village that the Black Dragon still doesn't know about. Kabal is delighted to find the secret hiding that is well stocked, and he even discusses the possibility of not sharing the discovery with Kano and keeping it to themselves. But the trio runs into a spirited young man named Kenshi, who happens to be a skilled warrior looking for a worthy challenge. He makes quick work of Kabal, Cobra, and Kira, and they retreat with their bruised egos, determined to get the revenge. We see that Kenshi is still youthful and proud, and life is yet to teach him some valuable lessons about humility. They bring back the news to Kano while he is enjoying a violent duel in the fighting pits, and he is charmed to hear about this new challenge. He sends Tremor with Kabal and his gang to teach the young man a lesson, and once again, this is a character that the Mortal Kombat fans will remember. Kano even sends a reluctant Shang Tsung to oversee the affairs and bring him back the news. Meanwhile, Kenshi observes Kuai Lang at the marketplace, and he is surprised to see a familiar tattoo of the Lin Kuei clan on his arm. He asks the elderly Sub-Zero about the legendary Lin Kuei warrior clan, but the old man simply ignores the questions. Kenshi expresses his desire to train to become the greatest warrior ever, and Kuai Lang is seen far too much to fall for such a juvenile display of ambitions. The arrival of Tremor along with the others cut the discussion short. Kenshi soon learns a lesson about humility. He is beaten and battered in the battle, and it is only for Shang Tsung that he survives. However, the old Shang Tsung has sinister plans of his own. He intends to use the power of Kenshi to unlock the Well of Souls so that he can unleash the One Being. His plan works perfectly after he lures Kenshi to the well with the promise of enabling him with a power that will make him defeat the forces of the Black Dragon. What follows is a textbook tale of betrayal, where Shang Tsung leaves a blinded Kenshi to die and throws him in the well after getting back his youth and extreme powers by absorbing all the souls in the well. Just when you start thinking that the whole Kenshi saga is done for, there appears a glimmer of hope. Inside the well, there is a special magical sword that calls out to him. This sword named Sento guides him out of the well and powers him to move away even in his near-dead state. Eventually, he is knocked unconscious from the strain, but by now, he has moved close to the settlement of Kwailang. Back in Kano's lair, Shang Tsung returns with his renewed powers to accomplish what he always secretly desired. He never cherished the idea of being a servant of King Kano, and now he believes that his time has come to usurp power. He cuts through Kano's henchmen, but he is soon reminded of just how powerful Kano is. It turns out that Kano knew all along that things would turn out this way, and we get the shocking reveal that Kano doesn't have a soul for Shang Tsung to absorb. Instead, he delivers one of the most gruesome deaths in the movie as he rips out Shang Tsung's spine and tosses his battered body like a rag doll. On the other hand, Kuai Liang finds the unconscious body of Kenshi, and he nurses him back to health. After hearing about the magical sword and its association with Kenshi, he decides to train him to become the warrior he always wanted to be. Kenshi is initially dejected because of his lost eyesight, but the wise old warrior assures him that his eyesight wouldn't come in the way of his goals. Thus begins an extensive training process, where Kenshi is taught to master his other senses and become truly familiar with his sword. During the process, Kuai Liang also tells the story about his past, which explains why he has been so timid and away from all problems. When the Revenants started taking over cities and all hopes for humanity seemed gone, he went ahead to rid a city of all the undead soldiers. He went along with his clan members, but they were soon outnumbered and overpowered by all the Revenants. This is when he summoned the deadly snowstorm that ripped through the town. It became so uncontrolled that it ended up killing the Revenants and the innocents alike. Even his own clan members weren't spared, and unwillingly Kuai Liang had caused the deaths of thousands. This is when he swore an oath that he would never explore his powers to fight back, and it all explains him not standing up for himself or the others. Survival for him held more honor than concepts like revenge and righteousness, but all these philosophies are about to change. It all starts when Kenshi observes smoke from a nearby settlement, where evidently Kano's gang, the Black Dragon, has struck. Kenshi wants Kuai Liang to join him to save the innocent people, but the old man is still determined to stay out of trouble for anything that might prompt him to fight. Kenshi is convinced that he has what it takes to go and stop the Black Dragon, and after a brief scuttle with Kuai Liang, who tried to stop Kenshi, he heads for the settlement. His initial attack is quite impressive, as Kenshi cuts down Kano's minions as they try to stop him. He puts up a fierce fight, but Tremor combined with the others proves to be quite a handful for the young warrior. He is taken prisoner by Kano and tied to a cross and put up on display. It is meant to be a lesson to the others who dream of revolting against his regime, and Kenshi is helplessly languishing in pain. Kano demands to know who taught him such fighting skills, but Kenshi decides to maintain silence, even as one of Kano's thugs shoots him through his fingers. But there are still a few twists left in the story. Kuai Liang has watched everything from his hiding, and he heads back to his farmland prepared to bring out the old Sub-Zero. He uses a magical spear to summon a scorpion from the Hell Realm, and in this iconic moment, we watch him prepare to take the fight to Kano. He arrives to save Kenshi just as Kano's men were about to shoot him dead, and his arrival is another unique moment in the movie. An extreme snowstorm announces his presence, and Kano's thugs don't know what hit them before it's too late. Barring some of the stronger ones like Tremor, Cabal, and Kira, the others are dealt with quickly. Kenshi is freed, and he joins the fight yet again. Of course, the climatic moments are somewhat predictable because you know who is about to win, but there are still a few surprises held for the end. The fight sequence between Kenshi and Tremor is possibly one of the finest, and it would rank right up there with the final showdown between the old Sub-Zero and Kano. Watching the bad guys like Cabal being ripped in two halves, or watching Tremor being killed with the most graphic details imaginable is exactly what Mortal Kombat is all about. In the final moments, when Kano realizes that the combined force of Kano and Kenshi could be too much for him to deal with, he tries to escape. They follow him into his hiding, and an elderly Sub-Zero goes after him while Kenshi deals with his thugs behind. Now comes the biggest surprise of all, and is revealed that Kano had mastered the art of manipulating time and events. He could foresee the future, change events in time, and even the whole Revenants thing was created by him to bring himself into power. Kano reveals feels that his supreme powers were starting to get boring and he is thoroughly enjoying the challenge posed by Sub-Zero. They break into what can easily be termed as the fiercest fight in the movie. Kuai Lung loses a hand while Kano is beaten to the ground as the duo fights for survival in the complex machine room that manipulates time and events. Finally, it takes a lethal signature move from Sub-Zero to put an end to Kano's misery, and his body is squashed and ripped apart into hundreds of pieces under the impact of all the machines. Now that the Earth Realm is free from the torturous regime of Kano and Black Dragon, Kuai Lung thanks Kenshi for reminding him about fighting for the right side instead of laying low like a coward. He also passes the mantle of Ling Hui to Kenshi, telling him what a big responsibility that is. The old man must head for the Hell Realm along with Scorpion, just like he had promised, but his work here is done. The story ends with Kenshi heading out on his own, prepared to fight the future threats that the Earth Realm might face. He would have to train others to become like him, and the next story going ahead might just feature him as the primary protagonist. Is this really a true sequel? We have said at the beginning of the video that the movie was marketed as a sequel to Mortal Kombat Battle of the Realms. However, the actual links between the Battle of the Realms and the new release are few and far between. While it can be assumed that Kano is ruling the Wasteland several years after the events of the previous movie, there are no concrete relations to the former. In fact, Snowblind doesn't even take the path of the traditional Mortal Kombat tournament to push things ahead. Here, Kano is trying to assert his dominance over Earthrealm, but he is not leaving it to chance and occupying lands through brute force. It is more of an independent story arc that has a few familiar faces from the Mortal Kombat franchise. However, we aren't really complaining because of that, even though some of the purists might not appreciate the unique approach. If you view this movie as a standalone project with a classic tale of a hero redeeming himself, it has all the necessary elements to keep you entertained. Marvelous Verdict: a violent ride with Mortal Kombat premised in the post-apocalyptic world. Every new attempt needn't be trashed, and Mortal Kombat Legends Snowblind should be judged independently for a fair trial without comparing it to the previous releases. The true essence of Mortal Kombat is not in the format, but in the fighting spirit, and the movie is all about that. Many of the fans will agree that a Mortal Kombat movie is incomplete without a fair share of brutality and gore. In this regard, Snowblind gets right to it in the first couple of minutes from the movie. From people getting decapitated to some being impaled mercilessly, the movie never falls short on the bloody details of some violent moments. The storytelling is crisp and never feels dragged, and the short runtime actually helps the cause. The voice actors all did a fine job, and characters like Kano, Shang Tsung, Kenshi, and Kuai Lung all come alive with their thundering performances. The action scenes, especially all the sword fighting and training scenes, are clearly inspired by a particular style of Japanese blind swordsman films, but the rich animation quality and attention to detail will impress you even through the mild plagiarism. Overall, it is a film worth your time, and the fans will certainly enjoy all the action if they watch the movie without any preconceived biases. A Mortal Kombat movie premised in a desert wastelands and studded with extreme violence seems to be a recipe for success, and only time will tell what the wider audience base thinks about the film. Do let us know in the comments below if you are as impressed as we are with this new release, and tell us about your favorite bits from the movie. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks everyone.